Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to part 2, technically kind of the Wigs by Vanity review styling video. I don't know. Today we are going to be styling this gorgeous wig. We're going to be doing a double stacked wig, so the things that you are going to need to do this are, of course, basic hairstyling tools like hairspray, brushes, bobby pins, combs, all that good stuff. But for the actual double stack wig, we're going to be using like the paper that came inside of the wig that keeps the structure, as well as the hair nets that came with the wigs. So hold on to these, you guys. Okay, so I already have my wig like blocked off and all set up and ready to go. It's pinned down. And what I also like to do is I like to put like the elastic bands, like, I don't know. We're going to be doing like a 60s big updo, and as you can see, this is the curl pattern that the wig had in it already. Normally, I do like recurl the wigs just a little bit because a lot of the times the factory curls are not the prettiest, but the one that came in the vanity wig was lovely, so I am just going to use the factory curl that's already in it. So just brushing all the hair back, but we're just going to section off a front piece that we're going to use as like our leave out per se, if you know what I'm talking about. And of course try to get it symmetrical, but it really doesn't have to be that perfect. And I'm going to leave the sides out. You could bring the sides up with this piece and it would be just a full ponytail, but I'm doing like a half up, half down kind of a look. So I'm just going to take this front section and clip this and keep it off to the side for now. So I'm going to start with putting the second wig on top right away. So the first thing I'm going to do is just take a random little section from the back of the wig. And this is going to be like the anchor for the other wig. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a regular hair tie. Let me look in the front, make sure that's a good placement for it. Make sure that's going to be like right in the middle, in the front. I'm just going to take a regular hair tie and tie a bun. So just make a little bun like that. And you're going to take some of the paper that was inside of the wig when it came in the mail. What I like to do is I like to rip a little hole in the top, put that through the bun, through the hole, gather it all on one side, twist it around, and then wrap that around the bun, and just tuck it in. For now, we're going to add a lot of bobby pins to this. And then just keep wrapping paper, just keep wrapping the paper around the bun until it's like a decent size. So now that we have our big bun with all of the paper, we're just going to take a few bobby pins. You don't have to do a ton right now because we're going to add more in a second. Try to rip the bobby pin through the paper and then pin it through the hair. And then you're going to take one of your hair nets and you're going to wrap that around the bun. It's even more secure. Now you could go in with a lot more bobby pins and just make sure that is all secured in there, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I pinned down our big bun, and I also changed this clip just because the other one was big and it was getting in the way. So now we are going to pin our second wig on top of this. And so what I did is I took the adjustable straps and I made them as tight as possible so the dome of the cap is really small. I'm gonna grab one of like the T-pins for the wig head, and I'm gonna lay this on top. And I'm gonna take the pin, and because this isn't a lace front or anything, I don't really care, I'm just gonna stab right through it. I'm gonna poke that through, and then from there, I'm gonna bobby pin this to the bun underneath it, and some of the hair underneath it. But all the hair that is left out of the bun, and that is loose and still flowy and nice, I'm gonna try to avoid with the bobby pins. Just try to get the hair that's pulled up. Just looking from the side before we even start to pin it, just brushing it out, how much bigger and better that looks. Like, that's a drag queen right there. This is a drag queen. So I'm gonna take some more bobby pins, and I'm gonna find where the actual cap of the second wig is, and I'm gonna pin that, and I'm gonna stab right through it with my bobby pin, pin that right to the wig, and take a second pin, and then you're gonna cross these together, so that way it's just twice as strong. And do that, like, I like to do it in the 4 main parts of the wig, and then I'll do it in between. So pretty much just do it all around the cap of that second wig. Okay, so now that our second wig is all pinned on there safely, I think that I'm gonna take off the pin that I actually have in there, and I'm gonna put one last bobby pin. And now I'm gonna start teasing. So I already feel like because of how much stuff we put under this second wig, there's already enough height. I don't want it to be any taller, but we definitely need more width in the wig, specifically right over here, where you could clearly see that this is two wigs. So over here, we're gonna tease that so it doesn't look so obvious. So I'm gonna part it just right above. And I'm going to take some of the hair from the first wig and some of the hair from this bottom wig. And then holding the hair up, starting from the top, I'm going to tease it. And then what I like to do is get a tease right into the middle, and then from there keep going and pull that down. And I feel like that's a way to keep the front really full, or the top of the tease still really full and tangle free and easy to style. I'm not going to do a ton of teasing on this wig because there already is so much volume in it. And I always like to make sure that I keep brushing through the top of the tease so that way I know that it's tangle free and I can still style it easy after. And now we're gonna take our hairspray, and of course I'm using everyone's favorite drag hairspray, the Got To Be girl. So hold it. Willem, I don't know what I was watching or listening to, if it was on Race Chaser, but Willem said that hairsprays are formulated to be held 6 to 10 inches away from the hair, so I've been trying to keep that in mind when I hairspray things. Getting it on the teases. And I'm just gonna go around and do the same thing throughout the whole circumference of this second wig. Looking at it, I decided that I do want to tease the top sections as well. Obviously. The bigger the hair, the closer to Yes God. So I'm actually just going in very haphazardly without any rhyme or reason. And every once in a while go in and just make sure you push all your bobby pins in there again, because when you're pulling everything and teasing everything, the bobby pins can slide a little bit. Okay, so now that the wig looks absolutely crazy and it's all teased out and... oh my god. I'm gonna go in with a little bit of hairspray, just to lock everything in there. And I'm going in between everything and spraying in between all the different layers, you know. I'm gonna tease these front sections just a little bit so that way they don't look like out of place. And around, when you're teasing the front of your lace fronts, I personally like to leave a little section of hair out, so that way at the end you could just smooth that over and that front will look smooth no matter how rough you go on the tease. You could just cover it up. Okay, just like that. We're just going to do the same thing to the other side. Again, just teasing really lightly because I don't want this to be too huge on the sides. We just want it to be in proportion to the rest of the hair. So now that we're looking even crazier than before, we're going to take down this front section. Actually, I lied. I don't want to do that yet. I'm just going to start going over it with, this is just a regular like wet brush, you guys. I'm just going to go over it and start smoothing all of this out and flattening it down a little bit. And as you could see from the curl pattern that the wig already had, it has like this perfect wave to it. And don't really, be careful not to brush all the tease out, but don't worry too much about brushing it out, because you go in with a pick afterwards and you just kind of fluff it back up like that and it'll be good as new. Now this is the part of styling wigs that could really take a long time. Like you could literally spend hours doing your smooth out and making sure everything looks perfect and hairspraying everything to death and so it never moves. And you know, some people actually, after they style their wigs, they literally put them in the freezer after they hairspray them a ton, so that way they are literally frozen in place. And I want these front sections to be pretty flat and pretty smooth compared to the rest of the head, so I'm not worrying too much about brushing out the tease over here. When you're brushing out the top, I recommend just holding down the wig cap, the second wig really, so that way if you do brush too hard, it doesn't pull it out of place and then you completely have to start over. And really there's no method or anything to this, I'm literally just brushing it out so it doesn't look absolutely insane. Again, I'm going in and just pressing in all of these bobby pins again because I could feel some of them did slip a little bit. And where instead of holding the whole wig in place, you could just literally grab onto the tease and do some quick flicks. See, as you can see how it's starting to come along on that side compared to this side. So I'm just going to keep doing what I was doing off camera, and I will be right back. Okay, so now that I have brushed out this whole thing, I'm going to go in and hairspray it a pretty good amount, but not a ton, but holding it at a pretty good distance away. And after I hairspray it, I do like to go in and just lightly brush it, so that way it's like evenly distributed. You have to do that really quickly after though, so it doesn't dry. So you could see from when we did the whole comb out that there's some spots like over here and at the sides over here where the teasing got pulled down. So that's when we're going to take our pick, and we're very easily just going to go in there and lift it up. I think it's most important to look at your wig from the front. And if you want to try to remove some of the teasing, your best bet is definitely taking the pick and just trying to pick through it like that instead of going in with your comb and actually combing it out. So I'm not going to stress out too much about getting this part too perfect and too smooth because we still have a lot to do. And now we're going to take this section that we've been waiting for. This is kind of going to be like our leave out. So this is going to be used to disguise all of this nastiness. I'm going to tease it a little bit, of course. So I'm just going to take the back, a pretty big section. I'm doing just a little tease. So taking the front section, I'm just going to brush it out. And I want this to be really, really smooth. So I'm going to go in with my hairspray. And right away, just go and brush through it like that. Okay, so now we are going to pin this part down. Taking the angled, rough part of the bobby pin against the wig and the smooth part at the top. Just go and pin that down. Now just use my hand to hold it flat and hold the hair in place. Go in and pin it. Press down into the tease and press it, the whole thing, and pin it into the tease. And see, I'm just going to take the other pin out and keep putting them back in over and over again until it looks how I want it to. Okay, so now that we have our front section all styled and pinned in place, I'm going to just kind of very lightly, because I don't want to pull anything out of place, just lightly brush it into the rest of the hair. Again, I'm not going to stress myself out too much about getting this perfect because I can always go in with my pick and pull some of it back out if it gets pulled in too much. Before I totally get this side smoothed out, I'm going to take a piece of hair for like a hair headband. So you don't need a ton of hair when you're doing this because we are going to take some from the other side as well, but you want enough that it's going to cover up all of the bobby pins. And so you're going to take this piece of hair that we just pulled out, and you're going to pull that over to the side. Bobby pin that into place, and then you're going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so now that we've got our hairband all finished, we are almost done. The last thing we're going to do, when I already did it onto this side of the wig, is we're just going to smooth the whole thing out. As you can see, this side looks nice and pretty and smooth and completed, whereas this side still looks all ratty and gross. So we're just going to go in with a little comb and really lightly comb through it, and luckily if your wig is curled well, it should just kind of go right into place. Like, just follow the natural curl pattern that the wig has. And going in with just a little bit of hairspray and just lightly going through that top layer. And like I said, this is really the part that could take a long time because you could just go for hours trying to get this as smooth as possible. And use the hairspray to just kind of encourage the curl to go the way that you want it to. Okay, so this is pretty much our final wig. The last thing that I'm going to do, go in and hairspray the hell out of it. Go in with my hands and just make sure everything is smooth. And just pick it out a little bit more to make sure everything is symmetrical and there's no gaps anywhere. And that is our completed wig. Okay, so here is the completed wig. How does it look? Of course, obviously I don't have a look on. This video was just about the wig, but if you want to see the look that I have planned for this hair, make sure that you come back next week to see what I'm doing. So this is a super easy style to do. It does take 2 wigs. Of course, the back wig does not have to be an expensive wig. You could get like a $10 fall from Amazon and use it. But I definitely plan on making more wig styling videos in the future, and I think that I definitely want to start doing a couple of sewing videos. I don't know, we'll see. Tell me in the comments below what you guys think of the wig. If you have any other suggestions on hairstyles that you would like to see, let me know and I would definitely try to do them. So I hope you guys found this video helpful if you want to style a wig like this. But again, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found this video informative and educational. Make sure that you check the description below and go and follow me on Instagram. And of course, make sure that you like the video. If you didn't like it, go ahead and dislike it. I don't really give a fuck. Of course, girl, make sure that you subscribe to my channel and make sure you come back next week to see the look that I have planned for this hair. Again, thank you so much for watching. I love you. Bye.